Hi and welcome. This week I'm going to show you how to take the front bodywork off the Mark V Le Mans 1000. And the Mark V is the one with this half fairing on it. The Mark IV just has a bikini fairing. The first thing we need to do is remove the seat. Now the easiest way to remove the seat is to push down where the latch is and push the button on the side. If it's locked, you'll need to get your key and unlock it first. Then you can remove the seat. I will be removing the tank. It's not essential to remove the tank to take the front fairing off, but in a lot of maintenance jobs you probably would be taking the tank off as well, so we'll do that too. It's pretty easy to take off. You just got to remove the two fuel lines and it just lifts free. Now to remove the actual tank after you've done the two fuel lines, you just need to lift the rear end of it a little bit, wobble it back a bit so that it releases from the front rubber mounts, and just keep working it slowly backwards and it will lift off. Okay, now the next task is to remove the bolts that hold the upper fairing to this lower fairing section. I'm just going to leave that lower fairing section on because for most tasks you don't need to remove it. It's pretty simple to remove. There's just one bolt holding it to this bracket on each rocker cover, and there's a couple of bolts at the front. But to remove the upper section, we next need to remove the bolts on either side here. There's supposed to be 3 bolts on either side, but my particular bike only has the 2 outside bolts, so I'll go ahead and remove those 2 bolts and then we'll move on to the remaining bolts to be removed. Now originally there would have been ferrules fiberglassed in underneath these 3 bolt holes, but on mine a few of them are missing, so I'll need to use a spanner underneath on a couple of these. And they probably wouldn't have originally had these socket-headed screws either, but I'm not quite sure what would have been in here originally. Mine certainly has a bit of a mix of odds and ends, which it's acquired over the years. The one on this side does have its ferrule in the lower fiberglass section, so it's a lot easier to take out. Now the final bolts are those that hold the 2 mirrors on. There's 2 on each side. They run into captive nuts, so you don't have to worry about nuts on the inside. Once we take the mirrors off, we just need to lower the front section of the fairing down onto the front guard. I've put a cloth down there. Then we can disconnect the indicators and take the unit off. And once you've got the indicator wires disconnected, you can just lift that front fairing away. And that gives you access to the back of the dash, so you can replace a headlight bulb, one of the illumination bulbs, indicator bulbs, or speedo or tacho cables. And it's certainly a lot easier to take this off than it is to try and get your hands up inside there and do some of that work. And taking it off really isn't as difficult as it looks. Well, I hope you got something out of that little how-to, and I'm sure if I've made some mistakes or some omissions, someone will point them out in the comments below. I'll see you next time.